excuse me, but I think your work looks like this other artist's work. You are a thief, an art thief, and you have to be ashamed of yourself because you're a stealer. You stole this work, you traced it, burn in hell. Hi everyone, my name is Rina and welcome to my channel. In this video, I want to talk about how to steal the style correctly. I often see these like conversations in the art community, a lot of different opinions. By the way, I have brushes, so if you want to draw like me and if you want to try out new brushes, try them out. The link is also in the description. My last video was about Puririka and the huge conflict drama that happened with her and with another artist who copied her work. I think I'm going to use that situation as like one of the basis for this video. So if you didn't watch that video, please watch it first so it will all make sense. In my opinion, it is impossible to steal a style. Please come here and fight me. If you disagree, it's okay. Please write me in the comments. I will be happy to read all of you guys' opinions and all different types of perspectives. But in my honest opinion, I think from all my experience, I've been doing art for more than 10 years, it's impossible to steal art style. And I'm going to explain you exactly why and how exactly do it correctly to develop your own style. You know, how to steal to develop your own style. You know, there's a very famous quote from Picasso. It goes like this: good artists copy, great artists steal. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about. I want to put out a disclaimer here. I'm against tracing art of other artists, tracing it, copying a character, copying an artwork, and then selling it or saying it's your own. I'm against that, okay? It's a very important disclaimer. I think the previous video, the artist who really made replica of Puririka's work is a very good example for this, and we're going to talk about this more. So what exactly is right or wrong and how to steal a style correctly? First of all, why you cannot steal a style? Why did I say that? What do I actually mean by that? First of all, I think that every human has their own experiences. Every human has very special skills. We are all very different from different backgrounds. We have in our head different image library per se. Like we see things in some way differently, especially if like we are very creative people. Some creative people see things really differently. That really affects the way we are drawing. Even the way you're writing, the way you're doing like a simple sketch, it's determined by your brain, okay? And we are all very different in that. So if you're really trying to steal somebody's style, that's not really going to work unless you're purposefully copying like exactly the image as the artist did in Puririka's work. But we will come back to this, okay? I think it's a little bit different, but it still makes sense, right? If you try to copy exactly the work, of course you will be able to replicate the style. But I am convinced that you cannot do it all the time. Of course, if you're working in the animation industry or any other like game industry or like things like that where you have to adapt into style of the franchise or the project, yeah, that makes sense. You're a professional trying to do that. But if you're trying to develop your own style and if you're copying somebody else, you will, if you want it or even if you don't want it, you will develop this copying into your own thing. And I'm going to talk about how to do it actually like correctly. You try to copy an artwork, and in my opinion, if you're trying to copy an artwork completely, you have to credit an artist and you cannot sell it. You cannot say that it's your own work from the scratch because there was like a heavy reference, for example. And still, it can be debatable, right? Do you have to actually credit the artist in this case? But if you're doing it to study, I think there's nothing wrong about it. Actually, where I'm from, we have like very great art schools and art academies. People have as one of the exercises in the classes an exercise to copy an old master's work. For example, you go to the museum and see like, I don't know, like Michelangelo, and you copy it completely. It's like European drawing and painting school, right? And you replicate it and you do it as an exercise to see the very best in this work, to learn from it and to start doing actually your own thing. And even if you're not taking like old masters art, even if you're taking contemporary artists, like for example, you have your favorite artist and you're trying to like be like them in some ways, that actually will help you to develop your style. So one of the tips I want to tell you that might help you is to create like a Pinterest board or some like small like image folder where you will save all the art, all the different even objects, not just art, but different things that you like, that you see that pleasant for your eye or that you can learn from that in some way. Just save it and then go through it sometimes and see, like just look at it. It will help you a lot to understand what exactly you like. Because I feel like if you want to create your own style, you have to know what is actually your preference or in which direction you want to move. I want to share this one little story. I did this for many years, this exercise of saving artworks and saving different things that I like into my Pinterest board. They all were just so different, you know. It depends on the artwork, on the artist, on my mood, on the theme, on everything, on the genre, on everything. And every time I'm saving something, it's like there are a lot of different factors why I'm saving it, right? But then when I look into all of this, you know, most of the time there is something, one element that is similar in all of this works, and it kind of all makes sense. But I honestly liked all type of different stuff. Like I'm looking for my art. Someday I want like crisp line art. Someday something very like painty and very not clear, you know, very artistic. Some days I want something dark. Some days I want like light and bright anime, cute girly pop style, which is completely opposite, right? So that method did not really work for me, but I know that for some people that will work. That if you're seeing art on Pinterest and if you're saving something specific, it's impossible to not see the common elements in that, you know what I mean? But it, again, in my case, and maybe in some of your cases, you will see that you like very different stuff depending on day, depending on your mood, depending on everything. And so how to actually create your own style if you don't know what you like? You just know that you like a lot of different styles, you know that you are very diverse in things that you like. So how to develop your style then? I want to tell you like a small little story. I was following this artist on Instagram and I don't even remember their name. It was like so long ago. And I remember that I really liked her art, like in general, often saving her work, even unconsciously, like save, you know. And then I realized that one specific thing that I love about her art that I even started to doing in my own art is the way she was drawing eyebrows. Like this specific flexible way and specific like form and shape and like this motion, the way that she was drawing eyebrows, I was unconsciously starting to replicate that. And this is the key theme that I wanted to talk about in this video. You look into other people's art. Of course, you have to look in the whole image, but even if you look in the details, just some small things. In this artist, you love the way that they draw eyes. In this artist, you love the way they draw hair. In this artist, you love the colors and just like the line art or something. And you take small pieces and bits of things that you like in other artists. And then one of the most important things, yeah, you have to study it. You have to try to replicate it, maybe study closely the techniques. How does the artist exactly do it? Why they do it? Like, you know, study that. But then you have to modify it for your own hand, like for your own way, and try to do it your own way. That's exactly how I do it, basically. Of course, I am really inspired by a lot of artists, but I take bits and pieces, not really copying a style in general, but this will also help. But just seeing some details. Actually, you know, I think this is very good thing, but also one of the mistakes of beginning artists. Beginning artists tend to always focus a lot on the details, a lot. Like you have to think about the image in general. Okay, details are that you're trying to, you know, interpret your own way are very important, but then step back a little bit and look, how does it look in general? Your image, your art, the things that you're drawing, even if it's a simple sketch. If you realize that, okay, you're listening to me right now and you think you're looking for Pinterest right now and you're saying, okay, I like the way this artist is drawing eyes. So I start doing the similar things in my art and then you're doing it. But then you have to zoom out, step back and see, how does it look? This way of drawing eyes, how does it look for your art? What does it does it work? How can you make it work? You know, you have to ask yourself these questions, and this is one of the key things that will help you to develop your own thing. And you know, some people will probably debate me and say like, but you can do it forever. And that exactly is like that. You will have this process of developing your own style forever. I think this is the most amazing part of doing art, is it is constantly evolving. It has these like, okay, these couple of years you have these tendencies in the way you're painting, and then later you're looking at your art and your drawings and you're like, wow, it's like I see similar features, but then it's something new. And even if you look at very popular old masters artists and you see their art throughout the years, you will see this evolvement into something different. And I just want to say that, you know, in the case of Parika and the artist who stole Parika's work, I think this artist, first of all, is a very young artist, okay? It's 13-year-old artist, and some people are going to be, oh, you're ageist, like why are you picking up on the age? But for real, like 13 years old, where you were when you were 13, you were still like in a very early stage of like learning something and developing something, right? At least I'm judging from myself, from my own experience. I think it was not a bad idea for her to try to completely replicate Parika's work. You know, you cannot completely like trace it and then sell sell it, for example, or say that it's your own, that would be like just morally wrong. Also, copyrights exist, right? But if you're just studying somebody's work, it's not that bad, I think. It's actually pretty good for the artist. But you have to always focus on not just one artist that you're trying to replicate, because people will accuse you of stealing because you're just trying to replicate just this one person. You know, I think this is the key thing. Of course, like, it's a very like strong word, like stealing, but I think it is one of the things that helped me grow so much, is to always look at other people's work. You know, when I was like 14 and even like a little bit before that, I was in the phase of my art where I was really insecure within myself, when I hated myself, my art, why it never works, nothing works for me, and I did not look at other people's work at all. And I had such a huge stagnation, such a huge plateau in my art. Like, I was not growing at all because I was not looking at anyone's art. I was not using anything as a reference, anything at all. Everything was coming from my head. And you know, that's also fine. If you want to do that, that's also fine. For some people it works. But I think for the majority, you have to have so many resources and always fill out your brain image library. That's how I like to call it. The reason why I didn't like to look at other people's work, I thought that, oh my god, they're all so good. I don't want to see it because it makes me feel insecure type of way, you know, like I will never reach this level. I don't even want to see this. I felt like competition in my heart, but also like insecurity basically. And it's really difficult to explain. I was still like very young and very difficult to like even be very particular about these decisions that I was making. But then slowly when I was growing up and slowly when I was developing also my style and my art, I started looking at other people's work more and more, and that's when I saw the most growth in my art. That's when I started like really growing a lot. So I hope that that will make sense for you guys, and I hope that you don't interpret my words wrong way. I think that stealing work and stealing characters, stealing designs, tracing and selling and saying that it's your own, it's wrong. I don't support this. If you don't want someone to write in your comments, girl, excuse me, but I think your work looks like this other artist's work. You are a thief, an art thief, and you have to be ashamed of yourself because you're a stealer. You stole this work, you traced it, burn in hell. If you don't want to see these comments, of course, then don't copy a thing completely and say that it's your own. It makes sense, right? You have to be smart about it. You have to, if you want to be a great artist, you have to learn the skill of interpreting your own way, or like different details and different techniques. That's the thing that will really help you to develop your own style. And you know, the art has a very huge topic, and I hope that we can make, you know, more discussions and videos about this topic, because I also, as an artist, I'm really interested in all this. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Please tell me just honestly what you think, even if it's like completely opposite opinion. I want to know. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.